Right, some of that I was ad-libbing. I'm going to try to keep it similar, but I may change it up to keep some of your answers
That's fine.
fresh.
I'll rock it with you. No problem.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Thanks. I keep wondering, do I stay over there? Do I stay over here? You?
Just look at me.
All right, good enough. That's all I need.
And don't be distracted if I'm looking at my next question.
Look at your shoe.
Just pretend that I'm like sitting there like dripping,
Looking
hanging
at
on
art
every
like
word.
painting, drawing, and sculpting, I noticed that their work is unique. With artists' creative imaginations, artists are one of a kind and a talent gift from God. This young man was born and raised in Stamford, Connecticut, but now he has a career in which every artist may dream about. With his passion and desire, he now works for idrimedia.com in New York City. Now let's enter the mind of an artistic man.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Person to Person. Today we will speak with an amazing artist who might possibly be the next big thing. I would like to introduce you to today's guest, Gene Alex. Hi, Gene.
How you doing, Peter?
Gene, let me ask you,
Sure.
You've been involved in this for a long time. How and when did you get started in this business?
Well, as far as the arts, as a kid, I've always been doodling here and there, you know what I mean? But it's just, I really took it seriously within the last, I would say, 8 to 9 years of my life, you know, going through high school and college. And after that, seeking a more of a professional career and just making it more of a 9 to 5 kind of thing. It's a hard process, but I think I will definitely get to it and make a living out of it.
It does require self-motivation, but let me ask you, what is your favorite part of being an artist?
Well, it's just creating the things. You know what I mean? It's just getting the idea, finding the materials, putting it all together, spending those late nights just brainstorming, and then finally taking medium to paper and just getting the process done. The procedure to me is probably the most exhilarating part of the creative process to me. That's the best.
You've done some rather extraordinary work from what we can see. Let me ask you, what is your favorite piece? What is the piece that you think really expresses the inner you the most?
My favorite piece actually is this particular one here. It's actually a poster of my favorite. It's actually, I like the color, the composition of it is actually the best one. It's like the first one actually done where it's actually precise to what I was looking for.
And I just started painting the highlights. So this is not exactly all painted from white background. It's actually painted from a black surface, and all these are just all that I painted. Everything here is the canvas itself. And from there, what I did after that was that I actually just painted the background. So with just the background and the highlights, you get a full view of the individual or the character within. And actually, I like this one the most because this was the first painting that I've ever done of this size. It's relatively this size, the actual, but I liked it for the fact that I actually solved that problem and actually was able to get the proper results that I was looking for. I've experimented with a lot of others, but with this one, it actually was the first one that actually worked out the most. So it's actually a good accomplishment for me, and that's relatively why this is a favorite for me.
When you're in the art business,
Right.
Usually you have somebody that you look up to. Who are the artists that you would say have really influenced your work?
Well, I went through a whole several years of going through art history and the process of everything else. But I find that to me, I get more motivation out of everyday people and their expressions and hearing them talk and just looking at people and the details in their facial expressions. That to me is why a majority of the body of work that I have is about people and various expressions. So I would have to say the motivation for me, it's pretty much everyday living. Yeah, that's what I look at the most.
Let me ask you now, do you find that your artistic skills are easily transferable to other things? Are you involved in web design or advertisement or Tell me where else your artistic talents take you.
Right now, I involve myself in anything and everything possible. You know, I mean, it's just I just enjoy creating as much as possible, from web design to fashion to graphic design, welding, sculpture, you name it. Just as long as I can put my hands on it and make something out of it, I'm there. You know, I mean, I just love the idea of doing something, of creating.
That's a lot of different mediums. Tell me a little bit about your next project. What do you have on the drawing board for us?
Well, right now I have this project that I'm working on. Is based on identity. I take old images and I incorporate them with new stories and new names to these characters. I have 3 in particular right now. There's Jessica, there's Philip, and there's Andrew, which I'm currently working on right now.
Jessica, like here, this one here, this is Philip, and this character over there, this is Andrew. So it's like just by that alone, I already know who they are, just by individuality, by character, as opposed to say this is a boy, this is a man, and that's a woman. So at least that way, it's more of an individual. And then from there, I kind of took it a step further. With each of these characters, I'm going to create a short story, and the short story is going to be within there. I'm going to actually stencil it on the painting. So at least that way, when you see the face, you read the story. So together, it's going to be designed where this individual, mind you, that I'm taking them out of the context that they were originally, but they become something completely different, more human, so to speak, as opposed to what tribe they're from and so on.
We can see here some extraordinary work by you, but we've all heard the stories of the struggling or starving artist. Let me ask you, is it worth it to be an artist? Is it something you can do to support yourself?
It is, but a lot of things with the arts is that you really got to have a passion for it. And I think with the passion, it really kind of gets you to a certain point, but you got to be realistic with the way the world is running today, that if you don't have a 9-to-5 to back it up, for one thing, art supplies are expensive, you know what I mean, to promote yourself by yourself. You don't really have a rep all the time, so you have to have some sort of finance to get yourself to the next project, to the next client, the next gallery. So, you know what I mean, you got to be realistic to understand that. Sometimes you do have the passion, but you got to have a 9-to-5 to kind of balance it out, and then you move on.
Now, if our viewers wanted to get in touch with you, do you have a website that they could use to contact you?
Sure, it's genealex.com, and it has a lot of the old projects that I've worked on and some of the clients that I have been working for, and it's in the process of being reconstructed right now. And like I said, since I do the website myself, between website, drawing, 9-to-5, and everything else, it's a little slow process, but eventually it'll get resolved within the next few months.
Artists are renowned for being creative and sometimes bordering a little bit on crazy. Do you have a crazy or wild new project that you'd like to tell us about that you may be coming out with soon?
Yeah, I mean, the crazy is a very common term we use in the art world because, you know, if it's not normal, we actually enjoy it the best. I, right now, am working on this self-project that I'm working on. I'm taking it to the next level where I'm actually using myself because I incorporate, because I'm growing out my hair and I incorporate, like every time I comb my hair, the hair that comes out, I collect it into a ball, and once I reach a point where I have enough medium, you know, it's not hair anymore, it's like medium. Once I have enough, I have this resin that I put it in. I'm actually going to sculpt my features and my face and so on. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, it doesn't sound at all harebrained to me.
Not at all.
Gene, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Today, we've looked into the home of this great artist where he's displayed some phenomenal works of art. Hopefully, he's inspired some artists out there to reach a higher level of success. We would like to thank our guest today, Gene Alex.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks for being with us. I'm your host, Peter Butel. We hope you've enjoyed today's show, and we'll help you come back and see us for our next episode of Person to Person. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
I have to talk about this hairball one more time, I believe.